I'm with Sean Ellis, director behind The Cut.
Nice to meet you, Greg.
So, first off, I was looking at your past interviews and you said you've shot all of your films on film except one you shot on digital. So, my question to you is what's the movie you shot on digital and what was that experience like for you shooting on digital? And did that experience make you really want to continue most of your material on film?
Yeah, the film was Metro Manila and it was shot in the Philippines. And it was a film that I self-financed. And so first of all, we didn't have any budget for film or film cameras. And secondly, we didn't have any labs in the Philippines. So it was going to be really difficult to get there. It was just a process that wasn't going to be possible. But the whole reason that I was able to finance the film was because at that time, Canon had brought out the 5D Mark II, and that there was also the 7D was out. And my background is in photography, and I'd already made two movies at that point, and it was very difficult for me to find finance on a movie because my last film was deemed as not being that successful. So here came this digital camera that actually put the power of photography back in my own hands and enabled me to use it to go and shoot a movie that I could finance myself. So that was what was interesting. And I think off the back of that, what I did was I wanted to shoot film again, but I wanted to still be in control of it because I think ultimately that camera being back in my hands formed a very nice way of working. And so I spent another 2, 3, 4 years just really learning about film cameras and everything technical to do with film cameras and film lenses so that I could continue from going from the 5D Mark II to the next film was an Ariflex 416 Super 16. So I wanted to film, I was very familiar with film because obviously I was a photographer, and there are things about filmmaking with film cameras that you need to know. So I spent a lot of time educating myself doing that.
Sean, after the massive critical acclaim Metro Manila received, you could have gone on and you said you spent several years researching more about film cameras and whatnot. You could have gone and probably from outside looking in, just go hop to another genre and make a film quicker. But it seems to me, from the outside looking in, you are a very singular filmmaker and an artist. Can you talk about? You said you're a photographer first, but what about you as a writer and a creator? And you seem to eschew the process of like, I'm just going to make another movie. Each of your experiences seem like a singular experience. Am I off the base right now with that?
Oh, great. I mean, very much. Making a film is extremely demanding and it takes an enormous amount of time and energy. And you just got to be passionate about what you're doing. Otherwise, it can feel like you're working in a factory, if not. And off the Metro, it's funny because I did get sent this script called John Wick, which was quite funny because I read it and I said to my agent, I was like, I don't get it. It's a guy that goes and kills people for like 2 hours because they killed his dog. I understand that. I did coming off Metro that was very different to John Wick and very about sacrifice and about a family man who does a crime in order to save his family. And I don't know. I just said I wasn't sure that's what I was looking for to do next. So weirdly, I passed on it. But it's to my agent's like embarrassment now. She's always reminded me, you could have done John Wick. But anyway, that was, it just, at that time, I was especially looking for something that had some meaning to me personally. And I'd been researching this story, a World War II story called Anthropoid, for many years. So that was finally to become my next film. Yeah.
I don't know if you agree with me. I think one of the scary parts of the cut is there is someone, I'm not going to say who says it, that they're talking about the idea of failure. For some people, they don't even know the word. And
Yeah.
I think the scary thing is when you're watching it, you're saying, what? This is so twisted, but it's so inspiring at this moment about not being failure. But can you just talk about the multi-layered themes of the cut? Because we know where it's going supposedly, but I see that a little bit of a weird inspiration behind just being determined in trying to get your goal. But there is obviously a cost to that.
Yeah. Listen, I think it's a quiet movie. as dark and as twisted as it gets, ultimately, we all have dark and twisted journeys in our lives at some point or another. And we're all looking for the light, and we're all looking to try and get above the thing that's dragging us down, which is often ourselves. And I find that this is a film about a guy who thinks that getting something is going to fix his life. But what he realizes is that it's not what you want, it's what you need. And this sort of weird journey of discovery that he takes basically opens him up to realizing that he's a very damaged individual. And often with damaged individuals, the people that love them can't help them. The only people that can help them are them. And they got to be the first person to say, I need help. I'm struggling. I can't do this. I can't function the way that I have been functioning. It's a broken system for me. And I'm gonna destroy myself and all the people that I love if I continue. So in that respect, I always try to stay true to that theme within Boxer's character, because ultimately I thought it was a film about his redemption to being able to ask for help from the ones that he loved.
So I've been reading reports. Was it over 50 pounds or 30 pounds? I'm thinking it's maybe 50 or 52 pounds. Just your feeling on that POV regarding working with Orlando and then I guess shooting in reverse. How does that,
Yeah.
his sacrifice or his determination along with your determination, what was that relationship like on the movie? I feel like you guys must have felt really together on this project.
We did a lot of talking in the beginning of the movie, and I hung out with Orlando a little bit while we were prepping, and we had lots of conversations with his dialogue coach and his dialect coach, and with his trainer, and the weight that he was trying to achieve, and he really was putting his body through it. It was quite amazing. And when he turned up, and he was gaunt and he looked ill and he had no energy, and he'd have to sit on the floor and lie on the floor in between takes. I think he was really determined to give everything to this and swing for the fences on it, which he did. And I think he just pulled out just an amazing performance, to be honest with you. People don't actually even realize it's him half the time. So,
Yeah. Sean, I have you only for 10 minutes, so just very quick final question. I really love The Cursed, and you're talking about you being
oh,
a photographer, but I want to know about you as a writer. Just talk about the challenge of writing such a lived-in story and narrative as The Cursed, and what kind of advice do you give to people who are trying to finish that first script? And for someone like you, The Cursed is a very uncompromising story. What was the key for you to actually finishing that story?
well, The Curse was a bit of a strange one because I wrote like a synopsis for it, and it was an idea about this village that was plagued by a wolf, or what they thought was a wolf. And I think I delivered about 45, 50 pages of it to the producers. And they called me and they said, oh, we love these 50 pages. And I said, okay, cool. And they were like, well, you know what we should do? Why don't we just go and film these 50 pages? Because you want to shoot in France in the winter. And if we don't go, like, I think it was around November or December time. If we don't shoot that like this winter, then we're going to miss the winter. So why don't we shoot those 50 pages now? And then next winter, we'll come back and you would have finished the script, the rest of the 50 pages, and we'll do the other 50 pages next winter. And I thought, that's so weird because I've never been in that situation before where you've actually going to shoot 50 pages of a script that you haven't finished. I was like, okay, that's an interesting concept. Let's give that a go, because then we can look at what we've got, we can see where it's working, what the strengths are, and then write what we feel the film needs. And so, yeah, that particular case was very strange, and it was a bit odd because once we filmed and edited those first 50 pages, that it wasn't without its problems, but it did enable us to go back and go, this is what's really working, this is what's not working. So the extra 50 pages that I wrote really played to what we had and the strength of what we had. And we managed to remove a lot of the weakness out of the script. So that really was writing a script by making the movie.
It's amazing. John, really love that film. Love the cut as well. Thank you so much for your time.
Cheers. Thanks, Greg.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews